Hi guys, Kirk here with Kirk Giordano Plastering. My son Jason Giordano doing the video. Today we're doing another window. I've been doing windows for 25 years. I don't know, maybe 1,000 windows thus far, but I would like to show you folks how to do them right. This one is kind of odd because we have what looks like a sheetrock material here, and it's very fragile. So when you have this fragile sheetrock type stuff, I recommend you use what we use. We use the Bulldog, the Bosch Bulldog, and it hits it gently. If you use a hammer in strength, like say you just tap it here, it pushes the stucco into this very soft wood. So use pneumatic tools, and as you see, we were able to salvage some paper. We need paper in order to put our new paper over this existing paper and come underneath this membrane. And then they used an older wire here. It's not self-furred, but we're going to use a self-fur and transfer right over this wire. And of course, after we get our new paper underneath their grace membrane, we're going to peel this and stick it to ours. That way, when the inspector comes, he can see that we are underneath this piece here. You don't want to go on top like this, because sometimes windows can leak, and I've seen them leak before. So our new paper goes under the existing paper, and 2 layers of paper goes over this. And of course, we broke out well enough so that we can get a good tie in here. On the horizontal, we did the best we could with what we have. There's our mess from the breakout. I do a lot of work for a lot of contractors, and I tell folks, you guys can break it out, you can lath it, I'll just come do the stucco work. Doesn't matter to me, or we can do it all. So a lot of contractors will do their own breakout and their own lath, and then we'll just come in and do the coats of stucco. So you'll see it when we get to that stage. All right, guys, 2 layers of paper are on it. Our paper is covering the existing paper. I just pulled off the peeling stick here. It doesn't always have to be a peeling stick, by the way. Regular craft paper, fiber, it has the fibers in it, is fine. It's permitted. These guys, I always tell folks, use the membranes because they're a lot better. So we are done with our paper underneath here. By the way, we know there's a stud right here, otherwise you wouldn't be able to fasten the window on it. I marked with a pencil and then a yellow mark here where our studs are, because when I wire this, I want to staple our new wire into the studs. Every 6 inches we place a staple, then we tie this together, otherwise you get perimeter cracks. So again, their wire is not a self-fur, but that's okay, because we're going to put a self-furred wire on this, and yes, it does matter which way you put the wire. Okay guys, we are done with the lath here. I just got to put some caulking on the side here. It doesn't need it under here because our grace membrane is under this frame. When the studs are here, I marked them. We put staples on the studs every 6 inches. Sometimes I come to jobs where other guys have done the wire and they got it so tight that I got no key. So you want to allow a key. You don't want to over-staple it. You want to be able to grab it. You see how that comes out there. It's kind of like dobies. If you're doing concrete, you put your rebar and then you put dobies under the rebar. That way the cement is below it and above it, and the wire is between it. You don't want the wire flat on the ground or the rebar for concrete, nor do you want this completely flat. It's self-furred to pull it away. But if you just over-staple the mess out of it, then you're going to lose that. See there? You got a little bit of catch. A little bit of catch. The stucco goes underneath here. That's another tip for those who do it themselves and then call me to do the stucco work when they do their own lath. Another thing too is you want to get all this loose stucco and all this debris out of here, because that can lead to a hairline crack. So we just clean it out with anything. You can use a water hose, you can use a brush, it doesn't matter. You want to get all this dust off here. Just like that around it, and hopefully I covered all the bases for you guys. If you're going to do your own wire, you'll see us soon enough when we come back to do the scratch and brown. See you then. Okay guys, here's the scratch coat. Scratch coat, I'm actually using premium cement, and I'm putting a product called Luminite in it. The Luminite actually accelerates the drying time. I'm doing this right now and it's already drying. And so what I do is I'm taking it off the board, put it on here, put it up to the window. And I always do my tops first and the edges because those take the longest to dry and we want them set. We want them set quickly around those edges because edges have a tendency to fall off. So that's it for the scratch coat up here. And now with this material, I'm just troweling it on. See how fast this material is setting up because it has luminite in it. Luminite sets really quick. So the first coat I put quite a bit of luminite. The next coat I won't need as much because this is going to be set in about 10 minutes. And I can judge the amount of time I want for the luminite to set it. I can make it set in 20 minutes, 10 minutes, 5 minutes, and so on. So I actually wanted this to set quick because I want to do my second coat. So I have just enough material to finish this first coat here. This is called the scratch coat. And when you're doing scratch and brown with luminite, you don't necessarily have to put the scratch marks in it. If we were going to, say, scratch this and leave today, I'd scratch it, but I wouldn't use a luminite. I'd scratch it all, then we'd come back. But because we're doing this all in one shot, I'm going to go ahead and place the next coat. That's going to set, I'm going to float it, and then I'm going to mix up a color coat material for this particular texture right here. You'll see it as we get there. Alright guys, now what I'm going to do is, I got that second coat and I got the accelerators in it. So it's getting hard pretty fast now. I'm going to use a straight edge or a derby, and now I'm going to make the wall true and plumb. So what I'm going to do is come up here, just come right there, remove mud around, and the derby here gets it all true and plumb. I put it on kind of fat. That way I have something to work with. I take it like so. That way when I get ready to float it, it's already a straight surface. This wall's straight, and then I'll do my texture. Here, I'm taking it up to the window. I'll do the same thing on the other side. Gives me a straight, even line. Just like that. And there you have it for the derby. On most patches, if you have a straight wall, you should use this. But then again, this does take kind of years to learn how to use. So hopefully any of you guys who are doing it yourself or doing a float finish, which the walls can be wavy already, then you take a green sponge float like this guy, put water on it, and just kind of sponge it like that, and do the sponge float. But from what we're doing here, I'm going to use a hard rubber float because this is setting up now. The hard rubber float will, well actually, about 15 minutes, this wall is going to be hard as a rock. And then I use a little bit of skill, we true it out plumb. Then I come back, the final thing, put a little texture on it. You'll see that last part when we get to it. Alright guys, this is almost the final stage before the texture. This is a hard rubber float. This is a sponge float. Now, I've derbied it, got it true and plumb in all directions. Now we use the hard rubber float, which means we kind of go like so, and we take it and put it on this and feather it in now. We're feathering in this joint. The key to a real good patch is to feather that joint in so you don't see that joint. So that's what I'm doing right here. I'm feathering in the joint. I've already gone along the side. I've gone up the windows. I've gone on top of the windows. We do the sides here also. Just like that. Feather it in tight. Use a lot of elbow grease. Feather it in tight. And we do the whole wall here too. Feather this in. We float it. It's called hard rubber floating. And it compacts it. So it makes it true and plumb. Kind of like if you're snowboarding you lift this up. If I go flat here, I'll dig into the wall, but you don't see this part. I'm lifting this up at an edge, and I'm lifting this, and I'm not using my toe or the heel. I'm using the whole flat surface. You can't see me lifting it, but that's what I'm doing. You keep it flat. Otherwise, it'll do like this and cave in right there. So we don't want to do that. Last thing to tie it in even tighter is we get a little bit of water on the sponge float. This is the final thing before I show you the texture. And we just come right here. And that actually gets it as tight as possible as far as the joint. And the joint is what makes a good patch. It determines the level of skill on the person who's doing that patch. Now that's about as tight as you can get. I'm going to go around and do the whole perimeter. And lastly, I'm going to take this trowel, hit it. The reason I'm doing that before I do my texture is because that's what they have here. They have a smooth finish before the texture. So I don't want my finish prior to the texture being rough. So I know it's a lot for everybody to take in, especially anyone who hasn't done this before. But that's the stages you have to go to if you want to do a patch. Okay guys, doing the texture now. And I'm looking at the way this fella placed his texture on. He's right-handed obviously because he's going this way. I can do that. So what we're going to do is we're going to just texture like this. I stagger my texture. So I might start here and then the next one I'll start here and go up. The next one down here and then go up right to here. Just like that. Then I'll take one a little diagonally. Then I'll go back to horizontal. Over here. Right. That way it's you can't tell there's a patch here. Then from this guy, we're going to come down. And I'm using a La Habra color code in order to match this texture because originally that's what they used. So then I put it on. As soon as it's set, I knock it down like that. And there you have it. You may notice I didn't cover this window. Well, I don't have to. I've been doing this a while. This is plastic or the polyurethane frame. So if I got stucco on here, which I did, you're going to get some stucco on it. You can wipe it right off. The old like-it frames, anodized ones, it's kind of like redwood, where you get stucco on redwood, sucks right in. You got a black spot where you have to sand the crap out of it to get it out. The anodized frames, I never see them anymore. I haven't seen them in 15 years. We don't really worry about getting any on there. Of course, if I'm doing window under window, I'm going to cover them all because it's faster for me. So there you have it. This is Kirk with Kirk on the plastering. Thanks again, Jay, for doing the video. We'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching. Back again, guys. A little premature ending. Here's what I'd like to explain to folks too. Everybody calls me and they say, "Where the heck are you getting all those tools?" West Side Building Materials. They're located in Oakland, formerly known as Alta Building Supply. You can buy all these tools. Sponge floats, hard rubber floats, trowels, hawk, all the cements and everything. Those are for you who call me all the time or email me and say, "Kirk, where are you getting all the tools?" West Side Building Materials, where I get them. Thanks, and we'll see you on the next one.